Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. I'm joined by Mark and Flea as we discuss Alien Resurrection. Released in 1997, the film takes place 2 centuries after her death. A powerful human-alien hybrid clone of Ellen Ripley aids a crew of space pirates in stopping the aliens from reaching Earth. This movie was made on a budget of $70 million and brought in $161.4 million at the box office. Fun times. I suppose before we begin, I know the same misery loves company and all that, but do you know when you think about your actions and realize you might be a horrible person? So, guys, I'd just like to apologize to you right now for putting you through this because it's been years since I've watched this movie, and really, you don't do that to your mates. Like, I hope you can find your hearts to forgive me.
I don't think you need to really apologize until the next one, because I think that will then reach the point where we think Colin really hates us, doesn't he?
Is that where friendships are strained and bonds break?
Yes. So yeah,
not exactly a warm, fuzzy friendship move, though, is it? I mean,
where do we start?
Oh God. Let's start with the intro. Like, okay. The intro for Alien Resurrection just screams crap movie. It just screams straight to DVD remake sort of thing.
Yeah, I reckon that. Do you remember as this kind you get to the beginning, kind of like scrolls along the underside of the ship, scrolls the underside like the medical ship, and you see that guy stuck in that little pod hanging underneath. He was in the best place through the entire movie. He was. Oh dear.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it did look a bit cheap, didn't it? And haven't we seen something like this before? Didn't they do something like that in Alien 3 as well? That kind of.
Did, but it looked better. It looked as if they were trying to make an Alien movie. This.
Yeah, I mean, this was. It reminded me of that. When Alien came out, and they had all those kind of made-for-TV rip-offs of it that were on there. It kind of had that vibe. It did feel a bit, and I think the budget was considerably less than the budget they had for Alien 3, taken for inflation and all that kind of stuff. But it did kind of look it, didn't it? Some of the sets were a bit
plasticine or cardboard or something. Was that sort of
crossroads is the word you're looking for.
Well, I just thought there was that one bit
hotel wobbles.
Yeah, when we first see the scientists in the lab, kind of when they're taking the little alien. I might be jumping ahead here because I know we plan to talk about things in an order, but I just thought that set, it was so small. It was like it was done in somebody's garage. It was tiny. Everybody was like,
all bunched up around a window and like shit. It just looked odd.
It was bizarre. It's almost as if like that scene from Spinal Tap with the Stonehenge. Stones coming down where somebody kind of got the measurements wrong, and they said we want one of these like big I want a big tank with all these kind of mobile arms and things inside it, and then when somebody delivered it, it was like 2 foot across, and so they all had to kind of crush in next to each other to get in scene.
The thing is as well, when we see even from Alien 1978, everything looks like the science fiction part looks pristine and clean, and like the hypersleep chambers, right? Everything looks that. This is supposed to be a medical experimental ship, for cutting research 200 years in the future in this universe, and it looks like it's been cobbled together in a barn, like something like the A-Team would come up with. You know what I mean?
Right. No, it's not. This is not a multi-million or billion-dollar exercise. It's like some guys decided school science project. I know.
In the shed at the bottom of the garden.
Yeah, exactly. It's it was bizarre. The whole concept and setup is weird. And I just I need to at the start of that. I may have missed the very beginning. Did it say how far away from Earth this thing was?
No. It did. Well, apparently 3 hours.
Well, that's what got me. When we come and we're rushing towards the climax here, I don't know. Is that a sign that we're trying to get to the end?
Get it over. This is like
shortest review ever coming up next.
Like we know that you have to go into kind of sleep. You go into cryo sleep or whatever.
Not the plot decides otherwise.
But then suddenly it's like 3 hours away.
Damn, those are some big engines.
Yeah. let's conduct these really, really dangerous experiments next door. Let's.
No, sorry, Chris. The RSPCA was called on me for animal cruelty for letting them watch it. So
Oh.
they made the call. He worked out the phone.
Yeah, I hope you threw a blanket or something over the cage. To be fair, otherwise, yeah, there could be issues. Anyway,
here's
we're
the burning
off
question.
track.
Yeah, at the end of
Yeah.
Alien 3,
Yeah.
Ripley is falling into a furnace, which
Yeah.
is fully on, and there's no way, even if the switch started off, it was going. By the time she she was
Yeah.
burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
Where did they get enough blood? And also for the last 200 years, like. Makes no
Now,
sense.
I have a theory. I have a theory.
Oh God.
But it does mean I'm kind of defending the plot. And so I don't really want to give it.
This is Mark's crazy. Chris does the crazy theories in this channel. Thank you.
No, so
Right.
obviously she was, when they found Ripley on the Fury one thingy, whatever number. I'm a big Alien fan. You can
13,
tell.
wasn't it? No.
I don't know.
It was
so
either Fury 3 or Fury 13.
She did end up in the infirmary. So maybe some blood samples were taken. Maybe was that actually alluded to him?
Enough
Alien
to
3?
fuel an entire 200 years worth of experiments.
But
And,
we're talking about future.
And also, his character was putting stuff into her.
Yeah.
Rather than taking stuff out.
It's not a great theory. I'll give you that. It's not.
It's the brain trying to defend itself, isn't it? Trying to come up with this has to make sense. Somebody has thought of this and put it on the screen. Surely it makes sense.
Why do you think somebody has thought of this? I mean, that's we're thinking that, right? Yeah, we're thinking somebody must have. Yeah,
somebody's thought this has to make sense in somebody's head. It's just not in mine.
No, well, apparently we could be giving them a little too much credit. So apparently,
so yes. Thinking there's a plot. It's like that. That's
well. I mean, it doesn't matter how they got it. Doesn't matter how they got it, guys. It's just that we need this for the film to happen.
Yeah,
and so
this is even from Alien 3. This franchise can't get past Ellen Ripley, and that's its biggest feeling.
Yeah.
Yes, they created an iconic, brilliant character. Can't say anything about her, but they couldn't get past her, and that's why this universe franchise has sort of been in life support. And this movie just exemplifies that.
I can't kind of work out why Ripley's in it. I know why she's in it because she's got in it, but how when you clone her, does she clone back with an alien queen inside her?
Yeah, and also I don't think that's the way. Anything we've learned from the franchise at this point, that's not the way it works. It's a parasite. It's a separate. It's not. We haven't got the dum-dum level yet with Prometheus. It's still normal alien.
Yeah. I mean, the obvious. I mean, the story goes that it wasn't the original script didn't have Ellen Ripley in it, and obviously studio interference said, "Oh, this can't be an alien film without Sigourney Weaver," and so they gave her a huge amount of money to appear in this. It's like 11 million. I think we should have paid.
I watched the featurette, and Sigourney Weaver trying to justify this movie, and you could actually see the pain in her face.
Yeah,
going. I mean, you're going to be really excited, and she's sort of got that haunted look of, "Oh my god, what have I just made? What have I?" Which
is understandable. But you know what? They offered her $11 million to be in it. Of course. She'd have been mad.
I've got to be honest. If someone paid me 11 million, I'd spend 20 minutes trying to punch my way out of a wet paper bag.
Appearing in a poor alien.
What I'm saying is, every other movie, like even Alien 3, she believed she was making a good movie, and they believed they were making one. And then when we heard all the interference, we knew what happened.
Yeah,
there was, like I said, there's a good movie in Alien 3 screaming to get out. Thanks to studios that destroyed it. This has no such excuse.
No, it doesn't. And I mean, she has gone on the record since to say when questioned, why did you make this film, Sigourney? She said, because they drove a dump truck load of money to my house.
Just she
Yeah.
had to climb over it. It was like
yeah.
the Joker scene in The Dark Knight, you know, and just sliding down the money to get their car to go to work.
And so I guess that was the thing, is that, you know, when you're offered that kind of money, it doesn't make exactly.
Common sense out the window.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a gamble, right? When you kind of, you know, maybe when she read the script as well, maybe it didn't seem that bad when she first read that script, and it's only as when you see the finished product and think, oh my god, you know, my career could be destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, what have I done?
In theory, let's be honest, they finally get a sample. They have a lab, they're experimenting on it, and they start to breed for their weapons program, and things go wrong. The theory of the movie is sound.
Yeah.
This is what they've been trying to do since day one.
Well, they kind of tried to make it look a bit more less like the company was not quite so.
Well, it's not Whale and Yutani anymore. They didn't mention
it's not. No,
and it's not the United Americas anymore.
No,
so
but they do say that they're looking at it for like medical purposes and things like that. They say that as well, rather than just.
I do remember the moment in the film where they say that Whale and Yutani is no longer, and they've been brought out by Walmart.
That's
because I made think of that moment, and I spat it back in the cup.
Yes,
Walmart. I always knew Asda was evil.
Well, I mean, is that product placement? I think product placement right there. Yeah, we were bought out by.
Says a lot for the movie. Product placement they can get.
Well, let's be honest. The Walmart bargain bins probably with this movie like lived most of its life.
A lot of those DVDs ended up in those little baskets in the aisles, didn't they?
Well, this is true.
But I don't know. See, the script, of course, by Joss Whedon, who now I don't remember. Was he? This is. See, I'm not a big Buffy fan either. Maybe
it was another Joss Whedon.
It might have been Justice League Joss Whedon.
The other Joss Whedon, the one that nobody heard about because he wrote Alien Resurrection. End of his career.
Yeah. So, and he allegedly says that this film was meant to be tongue in cheek.
He does that all the time, though.
Well, I've got to be honest.
This is it. It says it's meant to be tongue in cheek, but the trouble is, the director and those, everybody else making the film played it straight. They didn't realize that it was actually tongue in cheek, and so they played it straight, and so it was an abomination. This thing that came out at the end. So, I mean, there's a couple of.
Did they forget to tell him that this was the In Space episode? Every long-run franchise has their In Space movie, and that's the joke.
Oh
one.
Yeah, like Jason in Space, Jason
X,
and
Leprechaun in Space, and there's all those, and it's okay. We're doing the In Space, but nobody got the cast and the crew and the joke.
That's kind of the impression that I was getting from what I read. Taking that into account, would this have been a better film if it had been played in that way? I suppose the other question would be, this is Alien, for fuck's sake. Why would you try and make it tongue in cheek? I don't know. There's some. I don't know what to make of that kind of statement. Really, I don't know what your thoughts would be. Would it be?
My question to this is why?
Yeah. Why? Just why?
Yeah. Why did this happen? Why does
the
this
answer to that is money. I mean,
it did make it. It did make 163. It's 161. It did make its money back.
all those poor people.
Just under, like, we'll go to the
going
1 to 3 ratio for marketing, etc.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
It's just about, you know what I mean? It just about scraped even in terms of like the whole thing.
not a blockbuster, but yeah, it made money.
Just think those poor fans going in there to pay to watch it.
I was one of them.
I'm not laughing at you, Colin.
Honestly.
Laughing with you.
I was one of them, and I'm just like, what is that? I remember feeling betrayed.
I get that. Yeah,
and
I totally.
I didn't feel that at Alien 3. You know, when I watched Alien 3, I was like, there's something off. You know, you see it was an Alien movie, but there was something off, and it was then when you revisit it and look at it, you realize all the bits and pieces. But this, I felt utterly betrayed.
I really enjoyed 3.
No, I mean, that's okay.
There's just frustrations because you knew there was, when you dive in, you realize the studio interference. Like, we spent 2 hours going over all the different shenanigans in our Alien 3 review of the flipping director and the writer had to have secret phone call rings. So that they could hide from the studio from getting 3 rewrites a day. Like, the fact that movie came out as a testament to, you know, creative energy and fortitude, because everything was stacked against that movie. Yeah. This movie is just offensive.
There's not a lot to like, is there? Can we find anything? Can we find any redeeming feature?
It's nice to see Sigourney Weaver on screen. On screen again, I suppose.
Yeah, Sigourney.
But she's doing all those weird artsy fartsy poses, which is
I've got to be honest. The bit at the beginning in the paper, inside the paper bag was mildly uncomfortable.
It's like she was shooting a music video, wasn't it?
It was kind of like, hang on a minute, I've seen this in a film before, but I'm sure it wasn't Aliens, and I'm sure my mother wouldn't approve.
Well, your mother might not have approved of this one either, to be fair.
She probably wouldn't have, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it was. But that was the other thing. And I
tell
guess
you someone who's having
she wasn't playing Ripley either, was she? It wasn't really Ripley that we were seeing
until about the second act, and then she switched from robot clone to Ripley.
Yeah,
it was like a switch. You know, all of a sudden, I remember who I am, and then
she was like, "I'm actually quite a horrible, despicable person too." Oh, actually, I could be your mother. Yeah, it was a.
It was when Call was discovered to be a synthetic. All of a sudden, she went,
because Ripley's
history.
She's gotten so well with synthetics in the past, hasn't she?
Yeah. So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
that's just made me think of that scene where we discover that Call is a synthetic.
Like, that wasn't telegraphed.
She gets shot. It was gets shot, falls down into the water, and that somehow manages to get on the floor above them and just open the door.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress.
But I tell you someone who's having an absolute blast in this movie.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, well, he's just happy to act, doesn't he? Being I've got a movie.
Somebody
hasn't worked out.
It was Ron Perlman. Got to play Ron Perlman. In this movie.
Brad Dourif.
Hang on, all you ever do is
Brad.
They gave him a few lines or something, and he just went to town. Like, he was in a different movie, and he's just like, "Woohoo! I'm in a movie!" And just run the bike.
I haven't been in a movie since 1984.
Ooh,
I'm here.
Yeah, that other science fiction movie that nobody liked. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he was. Yeah, he was. I don't know. His strange little hairstyle thing that he had going on as well, which was kind of odd.
Do you know if this had been a parody and he had been like in a Frankenstein's lab, you know, with it's alive, and the xenomorph on the table and lightning bolts.
Yeah.
I would have loved this movie if I had done like Little Shop of Horrors and Brad Dourif singing and the Alien Queen was like Audrey 2. This would have been gold.
Yeah.
And if nobody else had it turned up and it had just been that, you know.
Just Brad.
Just Brad Dourif and an Alien Queen puppet and him singing and doing weird stuff. This would have been an absolutely mental movie. It's been a lot of fun.
Damn, we've just reinvented Alien Resurrection.
I mean, this could be the new cut that Colin has just stumbled upon right here. And I think
the little shop of horrors cut.
Yeah, he always plays weirdos though, doesn't he? Brad Dourif. He just I'd argue that this character wasn't necessarily as weird as some of the others that he's played, necessarily. But he does ham it up a bit, doesn't he?
He's having a blast. He doesn't care.
He starts off.
It's a bit of Gucci.
Oh my! What was that?
Oh my god! That's what I remember.
Come here. Come to Daddy. What do you think you're doing, you bellend?
It's I've got to be. I'd be like. His career just went. His career just kind of like went downhill after June, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, his career may have ended after June. Didn't come back for Alien Resurrection.
Well, he was Chucky. Let's be honest. He's made a name for himself doing that.
And I like that. He made a name for himself doing that.
Yeah.
Did he? I don't know.
Good God,
he did a TV show.
Wow.
Okay.
In horror circles, anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hold on, one's own comments here. Okay,
that's
makes Alien 3 look like Citizen Kane.
It's like wow. Oh, I can't argue with that, really, can I?
You can't. Right. Any misgivings we might have had about Alien 3 pales in comparison to this movie. This movie, they're just taking the piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to rush and get these reviews done, because even if Alien Romulus is bad, at least we've got a benchmark to go in our recent memories going, well, at least it wasn't this.
I can say it's like Alien, awesome film that it always will be. Aliens, really good action film, not quite Aliens. Alien 3 had its good points. And then we get Romulus.
Yeah,
nothing happened. Yeah. There's a massive
nothing happens. It's
I think
there are no films. There are no films.
Romulus occurs between the only two Alien movies that were ever made.
I'm going to get a hypnotist in the channel, right? And just before Alien Romulus comes out, we'll get somebody with a watch going, look into the watch, not around the watch. There were no movies after the Alien 3, and then we can all go into the cinema happy.
But doesn't this film kind of like destroy anything that the new film Romulus can destroy anything that could be considered canon from Resurrection, and the other two, like Prometheus and the one I can never remember the name of.
It's essentially going to be Alien 1.2 or 1.5.
Yes, it can't. Can it? It's set between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah, but it's like the guy in Prometheus, the guy for the I want to call him Michael Fassbender's father. Oh, that's wrong. It's like Mr. Wayland. Yeah. He's supposedly the founder of Wayland Yutani, yeah? But
he's the founder of Wayland Yutani were a merger of two corporations.
Well, he would be if Prometheus was an alien film.
Yeah, but the guy in Romulus that's coming up is a different Wayland guy who is kind of like more linked to the one in Aliens versus Predator.
Oh, dear.
So why did you have to bring? Well, no, don't say that.
Right. Thankfully, we're not including those. They're not going to appear.
I'm sorry. I definitely wouldn't be sitting through.
Just think of the ulcers. Just think of the bile you could build up watching those. I might have to watch those just myself so I can vent.
Just go whip yourself. It'll be less painful.
It's more fun. It's more fun rushing when you go into the toilet and sustaining a zipped fastener injury.
But still, I just love the way
to be quite honest.
I just love the way we find any excuse not to talk about this movie.
I know.
Let's go as many times.
What can we say about this film?
It's like, so I was watching Mighty Mouse cartoons the other day. Wow, they were much better than it's no, I still haven't got it around my head why.
Yeah, I try not to think too much about it, I think, really.
But when you think of the setup Aliens had of like the Colonial Marines, look at the hardware they have. Yeah. Look at Alien 3 when Wayland Yutani appear and their scientists and everything's just so imposing.
Shiny.
Then you have this medical frigate, that built by the A-Team, and Dad's army are guarding it. Like, oh my god, how many security guards do they have? And they're all shit.
Now the general, I think he was the only guy that actually realized this script's tongue in cheek, and went for it.
He was the best character in the entire film.
It's one of those things. Either the character was so badly written that there was no way you could play it seriously. It was impossible.
Once or twice, Sanji. Once or twice.
Yeah.
I don't think the word crap was mentioned, but other
we're getting that. That's the piece of resistance.
And do you know what? It's really difficult to sit and critique a film objectively when you've got your wife sitting there going, "Jesus Christ, this is shit." It's not.
She was kind of like voicing your thoughts, though, wasn't she, at the time?
Well, actually, I don't know if I hated it that much. Which is a strange thing to say about
there were certain parts of the film as I kind of like sat there watching it that I really enjoyed. There were some bits that were cringe, there were some bits that are why, but there's some bits that I was really enjoyed it. Mostly the ones with the general in them. I particularly like the bit at the end where he kind of like reaches behind him, brings his hand around, kind of goes like, "Is that my brain?"
Oh, that's a bit of my brain in my hand. Yeah.
Goes
that was
falls over.
Oh my god! It's just...
Yeah. I mean, that was the top guy who was heading this project.
So you can kind of understand why
it all went wrong.
He's the top, the leader to follow. Then the rest of the crew,
fantastic.
The entire division, there was an entire battalion of security guards.
Just people that kind of just running backwards and forwards like a bad Star Trek episode, wasn't it? It was. Do
you think all the ones that went into the first pod had to climb back out again to run into the second one?
Well, I mean, that would have kept the cost down, I suppose.
I'd want extra for that. That involves exertion.
Yeah, it was just a. Yeah, do you remember when we had this discussion about aliens, and we kind of arrived at a kind of a conclusion that the Marines in Aliens were actually kind of a little bit may have been they were actually the best of the best. They may actually have been.
Let me hold on a minute. You told me off that. You both you and Phil proper jumped at me for that.
We did. But
you went to town on me for daring to suggest that, and then I actually, do you know what? The Destroyer of Worlds makes so much sense because I think he's deliberately been absolute lunatics just to prove your point.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just playing hammer and have fun with it. I'm putting my hands up to that. No.
So okay, let me rephrase that then. Do you remember when you said that you thought that maybe the Marines in the Aliens weren't necessarily the best of the best, Colin?
We're sort of using the
disposable. Yeah, and we utterly went for you like rabid dogs. For you daring to suggest such a thing.
The pissed on the Holy Grail or something, you know what I mean? It was like I'd committed blasphemy.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
pissing on the Holy Grail is fine. Alien Resurrection got there first.
Do you think that this film proves your point even more?
I never even thought of that. I think I was in too much pain watching this to think of anything apart from, oh my god, why does this movie exist?
It's like, how many mistakes can you make when you're dealing? I mean,
right.
We could go through a whole list of ridiculous things that they did here, like having the cage where you're keeping your aliens with acid for blood, but not having any way to neutralize acid.
Like an alkaline sprinkler or something, or
something,
alkaline bath,
anything like that, or just not having acid-proof stuff. I don't know, material in your cell.
I know. Let's not breed one and like test it, or get some of the acid blood and test to see how far it goes through.
Let's 13 of them instead.
Yeah, let's have all of those and a queen.
Yes, well,
I'll put them 3D in a box as well, because that's.
Yeah.
They secured the humans better.
Oh God,
that's a good point.
God,
But then,
you know,
as we've discovered,
I'm remembering bits from the film. I'm scarred for life now.
No,
Jesus!
in the Alien movies, that the humans are actually the most terrible creatures in the universe. So maybe that's fine. But yeah, so there's a lot of you do start to think that this was obviously like budget science going on here there by people that didn't really know or understand what they were doing, or it's just a ridiculous script where things happened because movie needed to happen.
You think?
I mean, this is the we had this discussion, I think, on a couple of other films where we've discussed how people have kind of gone and created this law, and created a very similitude, I suppose, across the movies, and this one just comes along and shits all over that because it wanted to make just a cheap horror movie, and it was probably never meant to be an Alien movie to start with. It was probably a completely different script,
and they've just nicked it,
and they just thought, you know what, we can make an Alien film out of this.
It'd be a much better film if they'd taken Sigourney Weaver out of it and made the central character of the film Cole.
Actually,
yes. Then it could have been like Cole going on board with the crew of the Betty, and it could be focused on her trying to find out what was going off and wiping out the aliens.
And the way of the special effects, they had her doing some investigating to find the frigate. You know, actually spend some of her journey getting onto the belly.
Yeah, missing people. People were disappearing, and she had to go and find out where they were being taken. Or something like that.
Another 2 films of it, or television. Do you know what? The way the
film one ends, good one.
The way the film ends would be the perfect start for a really bad television series.
Well, Noah Hawley's got one on the way, but it's a prequel.
Oh,
yeah.
What time period is that set in?
It's set about 60, 70 years before Alien, and it's actually the race to create the synthetics is supposed to be the theme behind it, and they're doing like 3 seasons of it.
So really nothing to do with aliens or xenomorphs then?
It's going to be Smallville, Gotham, you know, all them type of. We're going to get hints of aliens, but not aliens, and it's.
Oh no!
Gotta say this. The first thing that popped into my head was Caprica.
Oh God, yes, that was painful.
I couldn't get into that. So
no.
I think I've
just heard of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The only Battlestar Galactica I've seen is the first TV series.
Oh,
you missed 1984's.
I didn't watch.
Oh no, not Galactica. 1980 or whatever it was.
1980, that's right.
Galactica 80, that was the show.
Yes.
With the flying motorcycles.
Yes.
Oh
God.
God.
That was something else in the time travel. And
yeah. I mean, the original Battlestar Galactica series was not good. It wasn't great. I remember loving the movie.
Honestly, I enjoyed it, but I was young at the time.
Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
But that's things are made for kids back in the day, and they're not meant to grow up with you. You know, that's it. It's a kids movie. You watch it, and you
no, it's just me who hasn't grown up. Trust me.
Yeah. Without that, we wouldn't have had the 2004 or 5 whatever series, would we? Which was very, very good.
I misgivings about it, and then I got into it season 1, and then that was it. I was hooked.
Oh, so good. Yeah. Great.
Wait, hang on a minute.
And they're remaking it again.
We're talking about reasonably good science fiction now. We might.
What's happened?
We're trying to dull the pain, I think, of this. This is just
every now and again you have to talk about something else. It's a palate cleanser.
Yeah, because God, this is
just melded. That body burst is just melded into my mind, kind of walking to Ripley, going like, and then it gets sucked out the airlock.
Oh God, that was
through a hole that's about 2 inches wide
of a super being, because that's the way it works.
Oh.
No, but even at the start, let's hear the Betty's crew arriving on the station.
Yeah,
like
Mal Reynolds and everybody turns up.
Well, Ron Perlman, what's her face?
Winona
Winona
Ryder.
Ryder.
Yeah.
And disposable characters.
Yeah.
Because it was so obvious, like the way they ride, it was so contrived. So I'm getting in your face, like, okay, you're dead. Yep, you're dead. Okay.
Yeah. What was that? Why were they so antagonistic?
Because they're trying to show they're tough space pirates.
Oh, yeah, but that's the last thing you'd want to show everybody to be. I suppose they were smuggling people in, weren't they? That was the deal. You didn't really know that at the start, I guess.
But then they ask him, "Oh, do you mind if we stay here for 48 hours?" It's like, you've just kicked off at the gate. No.
Yeah, you mind if we stay here for 48 hours on this secret lab that you've got?
That we're not meant to be here.
Yeah, go on, make yourself at home,
Yeah, well, sure, yeah, put the kettle on.
What's in that flask? It's hooch. Oh yeah, you can bring that in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just plot device. Even the guy in the wheelchair, plot device. You just knew it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, I wonder what's happening next. Oh look, didn't expect that. How long is it going to be till the aliens break out? Wooga. Oh, that didn't take long.
Yeah. Also, the time period of this.
200 years after.
No, not even that. There, I'm talking about from they bring the bodies in in stasis to them setting up the chambers to the aliens being fully grown.
Yeah.
Apart from one guy, you know what I mean? So were there 13 aliens?
Yeah.
13.
How many pods were there? I thought there was 12 pods.
I didn't count.
But the bred 12 aliens. But the had what's inside me? What's inside
that one
me?
Guy who obviously must have come in at the same time. Perhaps he was a bit late getting there,
I'm mummy,
but yeah, he made, and he lasts quite a while, doesn't he? Before,
as what you know, I mean, he lasted 24 hours than his compadres.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I hadn't thought of that until you just mentioned that. That's a bit of a weird.
He noticed when he was in towards the when he starts going like like that, and they're like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" He just kind of
I'm all right.
He just kind of use yoga breathing to get himself under control.
Yeah. Because that's how you control an alien in your chest.
Yeah, it's like not yet, Junior, not yet, Junior.
That'll show it.
What a way!
All right, for a bit longer.
What a way to chest burst at the end.
Oh, do you know what? That's like, the worst 80s cheesy, like my epitome of 80s cheese is the stuff. If you've ever watched that transformation scene, it takes about 15 minutes to happen. This is the equivalent.
Yeah.
Like, what we needed was somebody running and tripping over about 3 times to get away from him. That's all this needed to be 80s cheese-tastic gold.
Yeah. Yes, it was just cheap, wasn't it? The whole thing just exudes. And most of the budget clearly went on Sigourney Weaver,
which didn't really.
Which was unnecessary.
Anything to the movie.
She didn't, but this as we found out, he was just a studio saying this can't be an alien film without Ellen Ripley in it because audiences won't go and see it.
How can we make people like it even more? I know. We'll have her wear leather.
Make her look like some kind of gladiator.
Yeah, which is funny considering they were, they had her in the scrubs the whole time.
Yeah, that was weird.
But when the plot needed it, she got some nice clothes.
Yeah, all of a
but
sudden.
They didn't get her a bed.
No, because
did she not need a bed?
The budget wouldn't stretch to that. That was the problem.
Spent all the money on you and the leather. There's no bed.
But why? That cell where she was kept. Why was it so high as well? Why was it? It was really tall, not very wide, and it had a glass ceiling, didn't it? So they could look down on her with them in binoculars because she was that far away.
I reckon cinematography, so they could do the really long pull shots as they looked up and down.
Do you think?
It was like
come with.
If you took the scenes with Ripley in that chamber and riding about and put it to a pop music video. Like that's what it looks like. She's down, doing one of them artsy fartsy things.
Oh yeah,
music
it's about
video.
an 80s pop video as well,
Yeah.
not
Oh God, it's the paper bag
not
scene
the
again.
contemporary one.
It's kind of like it sums the entire film up in a way. That scene where you've got like Sigourney Weaver trying to fight her way out of a paper bag.
But the other thing was, you're never quite sure what it is that she's doing with that thing, because it's meant to be like a chrysalis type thing for some reason.
But you can see the edges that are just laying over her face.
Yeah,
you can actually see the shape.
I'm sure you can see the seams on the thing as well. So
just flap it up.
I'm pretty sure there's a zip in there somewhere,
Yeah.
What was the Madonna song and she did that?
No, God knows.
Justify My Love, wasn't it? She was all like with a.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Justify.
Probably where they got the idea.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, but that whole sequence in that where she's punching her way out of a paper bag. Why was that? Because it's not like, because she's like an alien human hybrid. What was the paper bag for thing?
Then I take it that wasn't her in the operating. No, that was her in the operating.
It was her, because they take it out of her because they're talking.
Because then when
about
Call goes to kill her,
Yeah.
dear mercy. Oh, it's too late.
and she said they took it out. Yeah,
because that's the way reconstructive DNA sequencing works.
So that's what I couldn't figure out. Is it because because they did go on about the scar had healed up so much in 3 days or whatever. So did these hybrids then have these kind of cocoons that they go into when they get a slightest little scratch or a little cut or something, and then they punch their way out of it overnight and that everything's great, or what? I don't know what it was. I don't understand that entire scene or what.
I think this is what happens when a studio makes a movie by committee.
There are times when the film is very art house. That's one of them.
Or is it art house or kind of wannabe art house?
It did kind of look like she was battling with a giant coffee machine, to be quite honest. This bloody filter just won't go in straight.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it was a weird scene. Whether this is all part of the script or whether this is the director's kind of specific vision. But I
think this film was made by committee. I genuinely think there's not one vision in this movie.
No.
It looks as if there's about 4 or 5 people have stuck ideas in. It has that sort of disjointed look about it, that it just scenes don't flow one from the other. And we're not getting a story.
It's a very choppy film. I mean, it's one of those films that you could start watching anywhere and you'd know just as much as people who started watching it from the beginning, because it just chops and jumps that much.
Well, it wouldn't matter, because like that scene in particular, the one with Ripley in the paper bag, it's never alluded to. It doesn't. Nothing happens. It doesn't show anything. It doesn't demonstrate any kind of ability that she has. It's just let's show a scene of a.
It's just kind of got like, look at this. We've got Sigourney Weaver in our film, but we're far too artistic to make it a shower scene. It's just I have so many questions about this film, but God, I don't want to ask them.
Oh God.
But
that whole evacuation scene as well, like when they escaped, that was just like that just shows the tonal shift. They're trying to go art house 1 minute, and then it's just pure comedy.
Yeah.
Like the ball's sliding into the pods, and fine rightly that they're all strapping in, and the alien's going to jump in. Like what's going to happen before it does.
Yeah, but then the strange general fella kind of actually does something and succeeds.
That is the weirdest grenade ever. So he pulls a pin in the grenade, and then it's activated by remote control. So surely the primer would be, he wouldn't need to pull anything on the pin. The primer would be all in the remote control. What the hell? And also, why build
all-
something
all
like
good.
that? That makes no sense.
All grenades are going to be like that 200 years in the future.
Yeah.
It added safety. So if you drop the grenade,
It is. It's a health and safety directive from the year 2379.
it was the salute afterwards that got me. I burst.
Yeah.
These poor Marines dying in a horrible way, and I just laughed at them.
Yeah. Yes, it was. I don't think they were. They weren't Marines, were they?
They
I don't know what they were. They weren't effective in any shape or form. Like even the scene where eventually you knew the crew of the Betty was going to kick off.
Yeah,
that was a given. Like it was telegraphed from like the minute they arrived.
Yeah.
And the fact that the guard didn't, the minute round started going down, that guard still went, "Drop your weapons." Obviously, they're not. They're shooting.
All your mates are dead by that point.
What chance do you think you have? They're not not exactly repentant here.
Oh God! It's like
it was
the way the black guy is there with his guns up his sleeves, and he walks past the guy with the metal. The guy just kind of like frisks him and lets him go.
Oh yeah, because he don't check your
Everyone
arms.
after that gets wiped over by the metal detector. Even the guy in the solid metal wheelchair gets waved over with the metal detector.
Yeah, but they could have all held their arms up and they would have been fine. See, they didn't check their arms.
That's painful. It's so contrived, and like I said, everything's telegraphed. It's not even slapstick. Like at least slapstick, you're gonna have a bit of a chuckle.
Yeah,
but this is just painful. That's the only way I can describe it. Just
I think I might have laughed a couple of times.
But was it unintentional comedy?
No, I don't think it was supposed to. It is,
like that salute was meant to be super serious.
Now,
I
not
think
according
honestly,
to Joss Whedon. Not according to Joss Whedon.
But Joss Whedon's a bit of a dick, and he has form for trying to blame everything not on him for making shit products.
Yeah.
So the source isn't exactly reliable. Let's be honest.
It isn't. It isn't. But like you said, we're trying to find reason. We're trying to find reason here, Colin.
It's like why? Why?
Right. Drugs and alcohol. There you go. 2 reasons.
Yeah, I say there's
alcohol and money.
There's like a picnic table full of Colombian marching powder, and everyone just dived in and then started making a movie.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott's like, I need more money.
That's where most of the budget went.
And unfortunately, it was too late. The studio went, "Oh God, we're gonna have to put this out, aren't we?" Yep.
It's like they're going to kill us, aren't they?
This is one as well. You don't find too many deleted scenes for. Do you know every other Alien movie there's like loads of deleted scenes where it might have changed the context? This is one there isn't.
That's probably why there's never been a director's cut. God, I'm so glad for that. Oh.
But it might have made it a good film, like Alien 3, right?
No.
The fact that we can't find any and they will not put any deleted scenes and apart from not making the movie, apart from not making the movie at all, going like Back to the Future, like stopping it happening, what could actually save this movie? So we'll take Ripley out because the Ripley's just like the square peg that doesn't fit.
Yeah,
it's just your member berries are being in
there. So I mean, the setup might have worked, maybe, as long as it wasn't done in such a cheap and campy fashion. You could have started off in that with that, this lab ship that has these things. It's gonna, if you wanted to kind of go,
there's 11 million to make it look like a lab ship.
Yeah,
instead of like
a warehouse
that Murdoch and Baracus have been working on for the blowtorch and hammers.
Yeah. So I the concept of trying to escape from this ship that has these alien creatures broken out in it. I mean that's the kind of thing you'd find in the Alien franchise, isn't it? Whether it's books or whatever, that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, and that's always been the thing. Even the graphic novels they've had research stations.
Yeah,
and I can't remember the name of it, but they've actually had a synthetic dressed up as basically made as a xenomorph, so it can go in amongst them.
Oh, okay.
So they had them like on a And of course, eventually they all escape, and chaos ensues. You know what I mean? That's pretty much standard. And yeah, the plan to have an episode or a movie going, yeah, what if they did get hold of the xenomorphs and what were they experimenting? And then it's the lesson of you don't mess with these things.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Now you mention it, it is Deep Blue Sea, isn't it? This film. That's what it is.
Ooh, another great film.
I don't mind that one so much. It's a bit daft.
There's only one small thing. There's Deep Blue Sea. It's okay. There's a girl.
Is that the one that inspired Samuel L. Jackson to make Snakes on a Plane? Was that the one made him go, yes, gotta go full B movie now? I've had a taste of it. I want to do this.
It's quite likely, yeah. It's the shocking, the one with the shocking scene where, spoilers, Samuel L. Jackson is in mid-inspiring speech and gets devoured by a shark, which is great. Which was great.
This is typical Flea, also typical Hammer. The thing that annoys me about that film is sharks with necks. Sharks with necks. So it swims through the door, turns its head to look at everybody.
I don't know. I wasn't as offended by that as this film. Maybe.
Yeah, that film's self-aware and it works.
Yeah.
The sort of the jocularity of it. The scenes.
Deep Blue Sea is Deep Blue Sea. It doesn't pretend.
But I think that's the one that
movie done Deep Blue Sea.
Samuel L. Jackson actually went, I want to do a proper B movie. I've had a taste of this, with that movie. I want to go and do
B enough. I need more B.
I need more, stuff this Hollywood A-lister stuff. I want to do a B movie. These are so much fun.
Snakes
and then we got Snakes in the
there has never been a bad B movie because, of course, Alien Resurrection is far below B movies.
Yeah. A B movie is self-aware and the audience is in the joke. This movie makes you feel like the audience are the joke.
It's right.
Jangling the keys. Remember this? Remember this? Hey, pigs.
Here's a choice. You've got a chance to watch two movies. Yeah, one is Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
The other one is The Swarm, starring Michael Caine. Which one would you rather watch?
Anything with Michael Caine in it.
The Swarm,
not a
definitely.
choice.
Swarm is
even Michael Caine in a bad movie on a bad day. Is entertaining.
The Swarm is apparently considered to be one of the worst B movies out, and we'd all rather watch that than Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, because it's stupid. But I guess it knows it is. I mean, and it's got a massive cast as well. It's what a cast that The Swarm has. This doesn't really have that kind of gravitas, does it?
The only real name in there, apart from Ron Perlman, because Ron Perlman is God, is Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. And Brad Dourif.
Winona Ryder wasn't really like massive star at that point.
Well, I think she'd kind of been gone and then came back after Alien Resurrection, because didn't she do Girl Interrupted after that, which was kind of like her little resurgence, maybe. I could be wrong. I could have got my times completely wrong, but I thought that was kind of how it went.
Yep.
So
the second film she made after Alien.
Yeah. So she actually jumped on. Winona Ryder jumped onto this. So I guess she was still pretty well known by this point. But she jumped onto it without even reading the script, just because she wanted to tell her brothers that I'm in an Alien movie.
With Sigourney Weaver, which
exactly, and Sigourney Weaver.
Hold on, let's be honest.
Yeah.
If somebody knocked on your door, briefcase full of cash, even if they're ones going, you're going to be in the next Alien movie with Sigourney Weaver. Yes.
Yeah. You're going to go.
It's like, okay, fine.
What do you want, mate? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, all right.
Just purely to go, and especially at that time, like maybe not so much now because of how much we've been abused as fans, but back then, that was a no-brainer. Yes. Hey, do you want to be in an Alien movie? Yes. Do you want to be in a movie with Sigourney Weaver? Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to do both? Yes. I'm already packed. Let's go.
Yeah. Here's the money.
What do you want, mate?
Yeah, I mean,
Not
you
even
probably
about the
wouldn't. You
money,
probably
though.
wouldn't do it for the money. You'd just be in
Not
it,
even for the
right?
money, just for the
Yeah.
bragging rights.
Yeah. 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 So, I mean, Sigourney Weaver in this film. I mean, I don't think she. Yeah.
Stay tall.
I mean, sorry. Yeah, Angela's contribution.
Ether.
Sigourney Weaver is
Crap.
tall. Yeah, and it's crap. Yeah. I'm trying to. I can't decide whether she was phoning in this performance, as they say, or whether it was just that was the character she was trying to get across. Because she was a bit disinterested at the start. The character,
But they were trying to make her out to be. She had no memories or anything. You know, like a. They were trying to make her like a robotic. That they were trying to teach her how to speak and etc. But then that's all forgotten.
Yeah, suddenly she can hold a conversation with anybody about anything and remembers everything.
Yeah,
except when she doesn't, like when she doesn't know about the clones and all that kind of stuff. And that
was the only sort of poignant scene in this. To be honest, that was the only sort of scene that made you think, okay, this is serious. Which you realize is what's how many attempts has been, and she sees versions of herself.
Yeah,
and that scene with her looking at herself begging to be killed. That was the only sort of serious. That was the only
when you realize, when you kind of realize that, that there was something nefarious going on, something really unpleasant was happening, right?
Because everything else is comical.
Yeah. And that, they were quite, it was quite unpleasant. Some of the creations that they got in there, wasn't it? They were some nice models.
Yeah, but that kind of made sense. They've been recombinant DNA. They've been trying all this. But once again, back to my first question, where did they get the sample material? You don't just manufacture it out of fresh air. Like, they must have had a bucket of her blood somewhere. Like, you wouldn't get that out of a test tube.
No. Unless, they just decided to. Maybe in the future they can just make that shit.
Also, please, sir, can I spoil the entire thing using scientific fact?
Don't bring that.
What do you mean? Spoil it.
Right. Blood cells do not contain nuclei. Blood cells have no DNA in them.
Oh.
So that was just an excuse they made.
But you've just ruined Jurassic Park as well.
Damn you, MacGuffins.
You've just ruined Jurassic Park as well.
Hang on, I'm Googling it.
Yeah, we need to know now. What have you done?
Like that.
I know. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna edit this bit out, Colin.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Unless they hadn't changed Weavers and Dance's bed sheets, after Alien 3, and that's what got all their.
No, there is. I was wrong. It's all right.
Oh, phew. Jurassic Park is safe.
I was thinking red blood cells, not white blood cells. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Still,
lymphocytes. Okay. Yeah.
They don't exactly scrape well out of a furnace designed to melt steel.
No.
When you land in the middle,
it tends to be a little bit.
If you had landed on the side and bounced off, maybe, but then it wouldn't have been a cinematic. But she landed right in the middle.
She was grabbing onto the crane too hard and cut her hand.
I think that's what. Do you know what? This might have saved if they had a 10-minute scene at the start of this, where the Will and Yutani team had went through everywhere with little, scrape and everything.
Yeah.
We might have got it.
Yeah.
Skin flakes. They found some of her dandruff.
Yeah, that just just go with little test tubes and then filling up an entire crate of
they
materials.
could have done that in that credits. That credit sequence, couldn't they? You could have had that little scene instead of having the weird hairy bits that were floating across the screen with the teeth, etc. Yeah, that could have. That would have been cool. Actually,
that would have given you a bit of this is where we're going.
Yeah.
And surely that wouldn't have cost as much.
No, it wouldn't. That would have been easy, wouldn't it?
They could have not hired 20 security guards that they had run about.
Yeah.
Sorry, extras. You know what I mean? You were out of a job, but you could have acted in that instead of wearing the security. They could have wore white coats and went around.
See, if the bit right at the beginning where that guy squashes the bug, puts it in his drinking store, and then fires it at the window, if I'd known that was like an indication of the quality of the film, I might not have watched it in the first place.
Well, you'd have had to, because Colin made us.
Thanks.
Evil man.
Thanks.
We'll have to get this. Like, when we go to see Romulus, we have to be fully immersed in alien lore. It's the only right thing to do. Plus, I can't do reviews out of order. It messes with my OCD. So
Okay.
I can't do Romulus and then go back to these at some point. I have to now do them in order. Just that's I could, you know, I wouldn't be able to cope. I'd have to close down the channel and start a new one. Which mess with my head too much.
God, does that mean it's Prometheus next?
It is, I'm afraid.
It does. Yes, Flynn.
I've not watched Covenant. I'm quite looking forward to that because.
Oh my God, that is. I finally, because I got dogs abuse online because I was covering news articles and mentioned that I hadn't watched Covenant yet, and then people were like, "How dare you have an opinion?" I'm like, "No, I was commenting on Ridley Scott being a dick," which he's still a dick.
He's got dementia or something, hasn't he?
He's just nurse. Something happens to the old Hollywood people.
Yeah,
they've been in the fart chamber smelling each other's farts for so long. Like, it does affect their brain capacity.
Yeah, it's that whole becoming so big that nobody can say no to it. Say, that's not a great idea, Ridley. No, that's not great. Don't do that.
Yeah.
There's nobody to do that. You'll go, oh, brilliant. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But yes. Anyway, we digress once again.
Brilliant idea. Give me more money.
Yeah, let's make movies that nobody asked for, like Gladiator 2. Like, who's asking for that movie? Nobody. I know.
Hang on, Maximus is dead, isn't he?
Well, that's kind of the thing that
Gladiator 2.
Very
oh God,
specific ending to that film.
Yeah.
So
Gladiator 2, the prequel.
And yet you've got nobody's there going, oh no, nobody will go and see this if Russell Crowe's not in it.
Well, should have done it with what's its face, Furiosa.
Yeah,
no Mad Max in it. Either of them, even though they've recast Mad Max. So they were trying to blame Mel Gibson. It's like, well, you already recast him with Tom Hardy, and he's not even in it. So what are you doing?
Yeah,
that's kind of why.
I shouldn't go there.
Oh shit! We just accidentally made the argument for this movie.
Oh,
Weaver on it.
Oh, have we?
Oh shit!
Oh,
we've just accidentally went round and made the argument why 11 million of this had to be spent enticing, like on $1 million notes on a fishing line, to try and tempt her in, and then the door closed behind her. That would have been a better intro. Sigourney Weaver being tempted out of her mansion, them leaving the
just leaving trails of tenors,
and then boom, you've signed the contract, you're in. Or Jigsaw turns up. Hello, Sigourney. I want to play a game.
Yeah, the only thing she had to sacrifice was her dignity. Yeah,
I think she survived this.
Oh God, easily. I mean, it would take more than like a film like this to kind of, because she's not bad in it.
She tries her best. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Tries her best to be bad in it.
But look, you can't make chicken soup out of chicken shit, can you? Let's face it. So, she didn't have much to work with. She came out relatively unscathed, I think. I mean, she's not been in any more Alien movies.
When she flipped from being robot to just Ellen Ripley, and cracked on as if, okay, let's forget the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
You kind of remember that? But there's another thing as well, right? This is supposed to be, I don't even think 48 hours has passed. Like, it's like the first day. Unless they're, I don't know, 12-month days on this part of their particular galaxy, solar system.
Yeah.
What was that? That wasn't even their cocoon structure that she fell into.
It was massive, wasn't it?
And it was alive and writhing and stuff. And
sorry, my brain phased out to protect my sanity. What part are we talking about? Sorry,
it's the bit where she falls through the grate
in the ground,
Yeah.
I hear them. The Queen, she's in pain.
Oh my God! It's like I can smell drugs down there. They will relieve me. I thought it was a load of aliens she landed on top of.
It was a load of alien, wasn't
Because
it?
you could see things were definitely moving in there.
There was tentacles. Well,
Yeah,
definitely had tentacles.
it did. I mean, it was
Whether it's
very
true or not
Giger-esque, whatever it was.
Yeah,
It was.
and then,
Was it? I mean, I thought it wasn't. It meant to be part of this alien queen's new,
thing.
Yeah, way of making live young instead of dropping thousands of eggs.
That was a bit of a shock. I'd forgotten about that bit, and I was like, oh,
because that's the way
oh.
species that can propagate by laying thousands of eggs that can last forever, and in fact host at will and spread within 24 hours is less efficient than giving birth to one thing at a time. And the progeny kills you when it comes out.
You've got to be honest.
I'm sold.
Some kids are just ungrateful like that.
Yeah, it's it's nature's population control right there. That's what that is.
One in, one out.
Like,
yeah.
Oh,
that was bizarre. That was a bizarre. It was a bizarre. That whole sequence.
And she was lovingly carried by the xenomorph as well. She wasn't even like grabbed over the shoulder. She was like lovingly cradled.
Yeah.
So she was through all this writhing, like orgy-esque type weird thing. Everyone's rubbing their butts up against her. And
Geiger's having a good day.
Yeah,
actually, he wasn't having a good day, was he?
Oh, yeah.
Because this is the one film that doesn't credit him. And he was a bit sore about it.
Did it not? Because I've got to be honest, the moment it got to the credits, I switched it off.
No, he didn't get credited for this film, and he was a bit sad about that. But I've decided that he'd gone the way of Ridley Scott because he actually said it's a great movie. So make of that what you
Sigourney Weaver said it in the featurette. You're gonna love this, and you could actually see the
she was weeping where she said it.
Oh, it's my NDA up yet. Many years away to say this.
Yeah. So but that whole thing. I mean, that had obviously formed in a matter of hours. That whole, and it was massive, wasn't it? It was. I mean, the implication was that it was gigantic, whatever she fell into.
But when you think back to Aliens,
the
whole point of Hadley's Hope was they had time to build all this. So that's what happens when one gets on board, and they've had time to actually overrun an entire colony, build their nest, and this is what by the time the Colonial Marines got there, they were established.
But even in all that time, they hadn't built anything like that. You know what I mean? Well, maybe they had inside the processing plant or whatever it was thing, but they.
At what point did they have 8 at this point? Because
one of them killed it.
The blue one was underwater.
One of them sacrificed.
Killed the second one. Yeah. So what? About 7 or 8 xenomorphs left.
Yeah.
It didn't. I mean, that thing looked as if it was hundreds writhing, which they killed everybody. They killed everybody in the crew. It's not like they captured the crew of the medical frigate and took them away somewhere. They all blew up or got massacred.
Yeah, although they did get the scientists, didn't they? All the scientists were.
Yeah, but they weren't chest bursts yet.
No, we don't know we don't really know what they were doing there because they were.
Brad Dourif, he says when he says, I think he says it twice during the film that the alien queen only laid one cycle of eggs and then she stopped. So was the 13 eggs, or the 14, however many it was, were they the only eggs she laid? Or did she
No, because she
there were a bunch of them when they come out of the
pool. Yeah, there was a bunch of them in there. We don't know how many. They look like you just saw the ones around the edge of the pool, didn't you? But I think there was meant to be more from all the explosions that were going on.
Back to Alien, Luke Commander in the space jockey ship.
Yeah.
Thousands, they'd already reported thousands. It stretched as far as the eye could see.
Yeah.
Aliens, an entire colony of, what was it, 120 colonists?
Something. like that, maybe. Yeah.
So there's at least 120 eggs.
Yeah.
No, I'll not mention that movie, but the real to keep her frozen.
Oh,
That's that fan fiction movie that was made. Where they're able to keep the queen frozen and turn them out in a conveyor belt. Because
yes.
I don't know of this one. I'm not sure if I do. Want to know about it anyway?
Jim says it was 14 full-grown aliens
running around the ship. But it still doesn't make that, they're running around the ship. Quite a bunch have been killed. That writhing mass of whatever doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
When What's Inside Me Boy only gets killed like halfway through this bit. So anyone else that got impregnated, if you go by the logic of this movie, which it's hurting my brain to even say those words. Anybody that's been impregnated with a face hugger won't be chest bursting anytime soon.
No.
So that writhing mass makes no sense.
It doesn't. Yeah.
And she cocoons. Because when we get to the Queen's chamber, she cocooned as well. So which is it?
Yeah. Do you know who did like that scene? Of Ripley in the writhing around on the
one audience member.
No, it was Sigourney Weaver actually who insisted that scene stays in. Why? They wanted to take it out because everybody said it's a bit sexual. Sigourney.
It's like no, I'm no kink shaming, no kink shaming. That is weird. That is. I mean, it's like. I think she was just like, you know what, this film is going to be bad. I'm going to make it worse. Keep that scene in.
Yeah. So we can't say too much about it, can we?
Tell us what you think, there, Angie.
Oh, hello, Angie.
This review could have been done in like 20 seconds.
It could have done, yeah. In fact, it could have just been Angie just going, "It's crap," and that would have done it. Yeah.
Well, it's just a picture of Angie with "it was crap" underneath it and some elevator music.
Yep.
In fact, from now on, we'll just do that when we have to review these bad movies. We'll get one ready for Prometheus. It'll just be a photo of Ange. We'll just stick that up.
Yep. What's your rating?
It's
Hit
crap.
the button.
Yeah. And
it wasn't the worst film I've ever seen, though.
Which was this one? Alien Resurrection.
Alien
God, no, it
Resurrection.
wasn't. No, of course it
like
wasn't.
I said, it's like this. There are a few bits in it that are pretty good. I like the tension of the underwater chase scene. I thought that was pretty good.
But it's also the most contrived. Like how much water in the water in spaceships?
An underwater bit. An underwater bit on a spaceship.
It's not the fact. It was good, but I was kind of wondering, like, why is the kitchen linked to the cooling reservoir?
It's the most contrived. We need a water tank. There's your reason.
It's like, how are we going to make this scene more exciting? Hang on a minute. Have you ever seen the Poseidon Adventure? Yes, let's do it.
I think
the original one, not the remake.
We did have a brief discussion about this where I said this film just turns into the Poseidon Adventure partway through. And yeah, you're right. But the remake, right? Not no Gene Hackman.
The original.
No. No one faults the original Poseidon Adventure.
No,
the Gene Hackman Poseidon Adventure is like a great disaster movie. Unlike the remake, which is more of a disaster of a movie. Bit like Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But that the whole underwater scene. I'm struggling. When was Deep Blue Sea made? I'm trying to remember. I need to Google this. Because I'm trying to decide which one ripped off which film.
1999, Deep Blue Sea, apparently.
Okay.
1999, yeah.
And Alien Resurrection was 97.
Oh, okay. So Deep Blue Sea was actually a rip-off of Alien Resurrection. What a shocker. I'm a bit disappointed by that, to be honest.
It would have been so much fun if it was the other way around.
It would have been amazing. Yeah. No, I'm disappointed now.
Written by Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon, yeah. Yeah, so
I was just checking to see if any of the writers from Alien 3 were actually on board Deep Blue Sea, and they were not.
No, I think a lot of people probably quit after Alien 3 because of all those shenanigans in the background. Like, a lot of people were burnt out.
Oh, Deep Blue Sea is criticised as being unoriginal.
Well, it's because it ripped off Alien Resurrection, mate. That's why.
Let's change the xenomorphs for sharks.
B-movie.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go throw away my DVD now. Yes, I have it on DVD. I don't have Blu-ray.
Deep Blue Sea. Yeah, I've got that on DVD as well. I picked it up when Virgin Megastore was still a thing, and they used to do
that wasn't yesterday.
3 for the price of 2 offers. Oh yeah.
Yeah. God.
So here's the question.
Oh my God.
The baby. Are we meant to be afraid of it, feel sympathy for it, or hate it? What exactly were you meant to be feeling? Because something that's making cute baby noises before it goes rawr and makes no sense whatsoever.
I've got to be quite honest. I knew it was coming. I'd forgotten quite what it looked like, and I may have laughed in the face of terror.
It looks like an unfinished model, doesn't it?
When you see the full length image of it, it's like huge, massive chest, huge arms, terrifying face, legs like matchsticks.
Do you remember that cartoon in Humans?
Like, skip leg day.
What's that? Sorry.
Do you remember the cartoon in Humans?
I've not seen that. No.
They all came from the earth, and you had that big one with the cage.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking.
I know a YouTube channel that's got the Inhumans on it.
No,
I'll have to post it so everybody can hate it.
Yeah. So the whole thing about whether we're supposed to sympathise with it, I don't think the film really knows what it wants you to feel at that point. I mean, clearly there is a turning point, isn't it? Because obviously it when it attacks the alien queen, it's almost like they're trying to make out it's a good guy.
Yeah. But it was making goo goo gaga noises just before it goes rawr.
Yeah.
Obviously going through its terrible twos as soon as it was born.
Yeah. And then when Brad Dourif is going coochie coochie goo, it's doing the goo goo gaga noises before it goes.
What was he thinking?
He just had enough Charlie. Like, he was giving I don't know how much Charlie he was given to act in this movie, but he was making the best of it. He was just having a party.
He's just kind of like there, and he's like, well, I'm never going to work again after this. Well. And then he appeared in the Lord of the Rings.
God, what was it? He reminds me of Brent Spiner in Independence Day.
I'm
in a movie. Just run about the set. I'm in a movie.
God. See, you block all these things that you remember and then Colin reminds you about. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah.
But that's why watching films is emotional, because it brings out emotional of other bad movies and experiences, and just when you look at the screen and go, what the actual fuck is going on here?
Yeah. I mean, there was one bit, actually, I kind of figured that they decided you must feel sympathy for this creature. And that's the bit when they reveal that it actually has eyes. As it turns its head, you can see it actually has eyes, and they look sad. So therefore,
leading up to the final scene, the most painful bit was them getting onto the Betty.
Yeah.
And you just knew it's on board. Like, there's no...
It has to be. It's...
Oh, did the door not close properly? Oh, I wonder what's coming next. Oh.
Yeah.
There's...
Ange called it, by the way. She did call it.
Yeah,
you could have called this 5 minutes into the movie, let's be honest.
It feels Alien Resurrection feels like the only film in all the Aliens ones, including Prometheus and the one I can never remember the name of.
Covenant.
Thank you very much. I'll never get it.
You'll get it. It's coming.
Yeah, thanks. It's the only film in the entire series that doesn't seem to have any lead up to any of the scenes in it. It's like there's no tension. There's one attempt to jump scare where like an electrical cable falls from the ceiling.
Oh, for fuck's sake! What?
And that's it. It's like it's kind of like you could there could be a tune in the background going like there's no build up to any of the scenes in it. It's just kind of like, now we're going to do this. Yeah, now that's jumped out at you. We're going to do this. Oh, he's going to fall through a hole. He is. She's going to smell something weird and get pulled down by aliens. But there's no kind of like, there's no like, oh my God, will they survive?
Did you care? Like when you meet the characters in this, they're like,
I like the crew of the Betty because there were some characters in there.
Were there?
What was that weird scene with him and his wife or his girlfriend or what?
He's tickling her feet, and she's really getting up on that.
And she's acting as if he's giving her like a full massage.
Yeah,
and
but he's not. He's like tickling her feet.
Yeah, and she's going,
it's that Reiki stuff, and she's got really sensitive feet.
Yeah, that was bizarre. That was a bizarre scene, wasn't it?
We're hoping for 15 on this film, so don't make it too sexy. Just rub her feet.
But do it in a strange way that doesn't even make sense.
It's like sexy, creepy. Yes,
it was. Yeah, it was a bit. It wasn't it weird. Yeah,
I think that signifies this whole movie. Like they're trying to do something, but they don't know how to do it, and it doesn't make sense. And you're neither aroused nor scared, or
it was written by AI. That's what it was.
Even before AI, right? This was the first attempt.
Didn't quite understand. Yeah.
That's it. Written by AI. It went back in time from the future.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was. That was weird, wasn't it? That was a weird scene.
But I think that signifies this entire movie. You're just looking, going, why? What is my reaction supposed to be apart from confusion? I think that's most of this movie.
Well, maybe that was the thing. Maybe that was meant to be one of the tongue-in-cheek bits that Joss Whedon referred to. Is that you think, she's in the throes of passion. I wonder. Camera pans across. He's tickling her feet. Everybody laughs. No. Just me? Okay.
It's like,
Obviously, Joss Whedon got the bad batch of Charlie for this movie.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
I'm reading through the plot on Wikipedia, and I'm like, nope, don't remember that. Don't remember that bit either.
Well, right. I mean, you're reading through the plot. Like, how long is that article?
It fits on one half-size window. It's like, it's Ripley, and has the genetic memory of a xenomorph. Why? How?
Oh yeah, they talk about the genetic memory, don't they?
It's just linked to them psychopathically, and you're like,
because you've got the xenomorph's D inside her. Where from?
Yeah. That scene as well with the aliens in the cage where Brad Dourif's kind of pulling faces at it and tapping on the window like a twat.
Yeah,
he's like a kid.
He's like, you know that annoying kid. If you ever go to the zoo, there's that annoying kid that likes trying to poke the tigers. You just want to go.
Yeah,
behave.
Yeah. So he's giving it all that because that's not gonna annoy the aliens and make it want to kill him or anything.
Yeah, and actually start planning, going, I offer my life because I get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Tell you what,
they're having a conversation.
I'll sacrifice myself as long as you kill that wanker.
It's like, which one of us is going to die? Oh God, kill me! I've had enough of this film already.
Yeah, just I don't want to see his face anymore. I'll do it. Eat me.
It's like, you're there. You're watching Alien Resurrection. That alien gets ripped apart by it. Seems you can't help but think, you lucky bastard.
Well, there's that was the thing about that the deterrent that they have, because obviously there's that scene in the cell where they're kind of winding up the alien and then hitting it with the little
very cold
spray of whatever it is
from the
yeah. And we've already discovered that these aliens can survive in space and without too much difficulty.
The perfect
in a vacuum,
as we keep getting told.
And yet this cold thing, it's not like we know that they run away from fire and stuff. We've established that in the previous movies.
Mhm.
But they start just like, oh, let's give it a bit of a draft. Woo, there you go. And this thing whacks off, and
this is all in the period of 24 hours as well. Don't forget.
Yes, it's
If
not
you
like
think
we've
of
been
it,
experimenting on these
it
things
goes
for.
right back to that line of, "Do you mind if we stay here for 48 hours?"
Yeah.
So straight away, this is, if the petty had it broken down or something, and they had, it arrived in and it hit something that one of the rent-a-cops knocked something with the docking bay, then this film might have made sense. But this is all happening in the space of a day. So they've went and they've trained, like, the bodies that these guys brought in from the Betty are the hosts for the xenomorphs.
Yeah.
If there had been hundreds of bodies and these were just another batch, fair enough, and the experiment was going on, but they didn't. These were the same ones. I know there's 14. I mean, it wasn't like there's loads of these things. There's 14, that's it, because that's the bodies that were brought in. Or 13 plus the Queen, because the Queen was extracted separately. So within the period of like 12 hours, it's birthed, except for the plot guy, the plot device, because obviously he was different.
Yeah.
He had indigestion tablets or something before he went into hypersleep. But in 12 hours, not only have they birthed these things, but they're training them. And they have them reacted. And then Brad Dourif's character has wound him up, Gideon or whatever he's called, has wound him up so much they're actually preferred to, I'll sacrifice myself because I hate that twat. You know what I mean? That's a lot to happen in a short period of time.
I mean, that's how annoying Brad Dourif is, folks.
I quite liked him in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Now, the thing about the number of aliens on here as well. Now, I've got it in my head that when the crew of the Betty first arrived, don't they, or when they're on the ship, don't they mention that they'd been there before? So had they taken some other people there before?
Or they've done business before, but I don't think this particular business.
Okay, so it's not like they've,
Which
so
is, once again, it was a major plot of
many
in this movie. If they had been gathering from other pirates,
and
it wasn't these particular bodies, I mean, they'd already had bodies, and when if they had discovered a chamber with like loads of cryopods,
it would have made more sense.
Obviously, 200 years in the future, what have they managed to do? They've made them removable from which wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
In the other movies. Yeah. So now they're removable and can be fitted on wheels and carried off places.
Yeah. Think about it, the crew of the Betty are really, they are, in a way, they are also the bad guys, because it's like they basically kidnapped these people. It's like they because it doesn't it, Ripley says something about like these guys attacked your ship and took you, and now they sold you to these guys so you can be impregnated with a monster.
Yeah. And nobody seemed bothered by that, did they? They didn't go and go,
all right then.
It was like,
fair enough.
What's inside me?
Shut up, we're talking. It's.
Yeah, because I suppose even if they had brought other humans in before that, it still wouldn't make sense, because it still looks like the people that were running the lab didn't really understand the creatures and were still kind of messing with them, like tapping on the glass and winding them up. And so it's almost as if we've only just got these things in. We don't really understand them.
So let's make loads at once instead of just one.
Yeah.
And test it out.
Yeah.
In the space of a day. Let's just go for it.
It's like a few hours later. It's just kind of like it just kind of does weird things to the aliens lore just for that one movie.
Yeah. But I don't think there's nothing in that film that makes you think they were even remotely interested in maintaining the lore or anything like that. It was just let's make an alien film. It needs this in it and that.
Just be a big committee, right? We need this and this, and they just threw it in the soup.
It depresses me. It just feels like a cash grab.
I mean, that's what it was. Yeah. Let's be honest. That's what it was. And nobody who made it really gave a shit about what they were doing. Maybe the director did. I don't know. Maybe he had high hopes for it, and
then the reality of the executive committee sort of landed
because
on him.
I don't know. I don't know if this was his first big Hollywood film.
To be honest, I didn't care.
At some point he made a film. He didn't. I think was it this one where he didn't even speak English to start with, and was speaking through a translator. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Like with Alien 3, I was interested in what went wrong, and I went and looked up the director and found out the story behind it. This film, I didn't care because I just felt insulted that
there was nothing redeeming about the film that made you want to even look into
I didn't care. Honestly, I watched this and I was offended.
Yeah.
And I just felt you're treating me like a cash cow, like somebody stupid. You think you're going to serve us slop and that's it. I'm just going to gobble it up and be happy and ask for more. Like and this is even back from when I went to see it at the cinema. I was annoyed.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that. I felt a bit frustrated coming out of Alien 3, but I didn't feel this level of, you bastards, I want my time back, I want my money back.
Yeah.
Alien 3, I enjoyed. I learned to enjoy on like the second watch through of it. This one, I'm still kind of like, yeah. No. No.
It's really the main problem, because I mean this is like a standard kind of horror film of its time. I think.
Yeah, if it had been any other scenario,
is it just because of it bears the weight of what has come before, that makes it seem worse than maybe it actually is? Because it is a B movie.
If this had been direct to DVD, B movie,
you'd have been okay with it.
It was aliens on a ship. Would have been all right with it.
Yeah.
You've got your expectations. I said this here. There's an ecosystem. There was an ecosystem to the movie industry. You had your big cinematic releases, which this was pitched as. Your continuity change, and you have an expectation. You had your direct-to-DVD, direct-to-rental market sales, and you had an expectation there of the budget quality that, but there was still an attempt to entertain you.
Yeah.
This falls into neither of those categories.
Right. So if it hadn't been an Alien movie, I mean,
you could have just brushed it off as a B movie.
Yeah, because that's all it is. It is just
that was stupid.
Yeah. Maybe if it had been released in the 80s, you'd have been more forgiving.
Well, I would have forgotten it.
Yeah, I suppose.
I would have watched it, man. Oh, that was stupid. And forgotten it.
Yeah.
But because this is, and the thing is, Alien universe is not complicated, let's be honest.
No.
It's not hard to get right. And
you say that, Colin.
Alien Resurrection.
But it just shows the caliber of it just shows the caliber of Hollywood. And this has always been a problem with them. How movies get made is still a mystery, because you've got these two opposing forces. You've got the creatives and you've got these absolute dingbats in the executive in the studios, and the two just aren't on the same page.
No.
And when they start, every time the studio interferes or the studio leads what they want, it never works out.
No. So maybe if they'd have had a bigger director here, then and I've forgotten his name. I feel terrible for forgetting his name.
He's young. He's a French guy or something.
Yeah. If they'd have had a bigger name,
hang on, what was his name?
Might have been able to exercise more.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Jeunet, yes. Would he have been able to salvage this film, or is it just so bad that there is nothing, absolutely nothing we can take from this that would have made a good film?
Okay, so kidnapping bodies, giving them to a research station who have finally got their hands on xenomorphs,
which is a creepy thing. Yeah,
would have been cool, but done that with bit of tension, bit of drama, and have Colin say, let's random, we burned our modems and stuff, whatever the hell that was meant to be, revolutionary. Have her be an investigator, maybe looking for a crew, looking for a family member.
Yeah.
And has been on the hunt, and then falls into there could have been a whole investigation of her trying to find said relative who happened to be one of these bodies.
It could have been the Expanse before the Expanse ever happened.
God, that was a shame what happened to that show.
Yeah.
It started off really good, and then they just spent too much time on the silly politics stuff.
Oh, I didn't mind it. I quite.
You actually forgot about the threat. You know,
I mean, I think
because they spent so much time on, like, I think season 3, it just went full about the human politics, and actually the threat hurtling towards Earth was completely forgotten about for about 5 episodes.
It's like looms from behind the moon.
Yeah. So, that kind of idea behind it. That's quite a creepy, unpleasant depiction of a very bleak future, isn't it? That sacrificing these people, which is what they have been doing through all the other films, effectively, isn't it? Sacrificing people for this.
But you can't even travel in your ship now and go into stasis because your ship could get raided.
Yeah. Oh, which actually might explain a little weird bit that happens later on in the film. So if you'd have taken that aspect of it and actually, because I think it struggles a little bit because we have this crew that are, I don't know, were we meant to be rooting for them because they're
because they set it up from the start. From that initial scene, they're set up to be dicks.
Yeah.
And so the only members of the crew that aren't arseholes are the guy in the wheelchair and Cole. But it's like I don't know. I kind of felt that they were setting up the guy with the 2 guns to be a bit of a Han Solo, Mal Reynolds type guy.
Oh, it's weird, shooting and deflecting of stuff. And
yeah.
Oh God, what was it? He shot? Was it a grenade or something? Like, and you saw the terrible CGI, that god awful CGI of it bouncing. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. That was horrible.
It's because talking about this film, you just remind yourself more about it. And you're like, oh.
But it kind of, when we meet this guy, he seems he's the cool guy, right? He's the cool under pressure, take charge kind of dude. After Michael Wincott, who disappears fairly early on, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's his name. And Christie, that's his name, wasn't it? Christie. So I kind of it felt like they were trying to do. I mean, this may be Joss Whedon before Firefly, to try to assemble a bit of a Firefly type crew and stick them in an Alien movie. But being Joss Whedon, he has to make the dialogue snappy and the characters kind of the kind of guys you kind of root for. But which makes me wonder again if this is an issue with the Lost in Translation thing, where Joss Whedon says it was meant to be tongue in cheek, and they took it all seriously. So the characters just turn out to be dicks because they were played too seriously, and they weren't meant to be.
Joss Whedon was the wrong writer for this.
Yeah,
definitely. He's the wrong universe.
Yeah.
No, the horror, like as we have said before, the Alien universe is only 10% the Xenomorphs. The fascinating thing about this universe is the actual universe, the living in this world where a corporation will happily sacrifice you and will, for a bigger profit margin or something else, will happily blow up product, sacrifice colonies, entire colonies will happily do. And you just have to try and exist and salvage rights, and it's a bit like a Wild West in certain places. The more you go out into the Outer Rim, that in itself is terrifying to watch a story play out. Not if it just happens to lead towards Xenomorphs, fair enough. That's just the icing on the cake. But all that tension leading up to it, there was none. Like, really?
No, not really. Like you say, because you knew what was going to happen. You knew what was coming. Right from the start. We got this scrappy crew of the Betty turn up. We're not entirely sure if we should be rooting for them or thinking they're horrible, heinous people, and looking forward to seeing them get their comeuppance. And then it turns into just a big caricature of Yeah, like
you don't even feel horrendously bad for the medical team either. The people are actually experimenting on our humans and treating them like they're just slides in a petri dish. I mean, they're made comical as well. The guards who are fully happy to have kidnapped victims be used for science experiments, they're made to be goofy too. So you're 1 minute you're laughing at them, you don't even have a moment to go, this is an evil. Like it's too comical to get the impression of an evil entity going on.
Yeah, although they try their best with there's the one scientist who
he randomly kidnaps people and then
I'm
I'm getting off this, I'm pointing guns all of a sudden.
They try to turn him into a bit of a bad guy that you want to see get his comeuppance.
But then that scene with the chest burster just made it comedy again because it was so daft and protracted and lost any tension.
That the chest burster scene at the end with our boy.
You just keep reminding me of these things. It's kind of like, but why? I mean,
but that is the whole question of this review: is why?
Yeah,
why?
I mean,
right. Our review of Alien Resurrection. Why? Huge question mark.
Because they could. And just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. My God, I sound like my bloody mother.
So yeah, we have this scene towards the end of the film where I can't. You know what? This is terrible. I can't even remember any of the characters' names. That's how much I care.
I don't either. They're just so disposable. That's the thing. They're so disposable.
The guy. Yeah. What's inside of me? Guy is rushing at evil nameless scientist, number one, and gets shot in the chest or in the. I don't know. It's shot many times.
He does get plugged a few times, doesn't he?
But it just keeps coming because that's what happens when you've got an alien chest burster in you.
Yeah, physics don't work. Newton's law of forces.
Well, look what happened to Ripley when she had a chest burster in her. She comes out as some kind of like slinky, super strong predator lady who's really, really tall and has acid blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably the same, except not.
And also, why didn't the xenomorphs, instead of sacrificing one of their own, we saw what damage, like just slicing your hand and spreading a bit of blood?
Couldn't it just kind of cut its own finger off and just
went
burn through the glass or something?
And actually had, they could have actually been hiding in front of it while one went, and that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Instead, we have this weird scene of them talking to each other, like, "You do it, go on, Bill, you no, you do it."
Oh, not me! A guy died last time.
Yeah. Which was weird as well. I found that a bit of an odd scene.
Yeah, because before I had the idea planted that they're like an alk colony.
Yeah, they just know
pheromones, and that's how they communicate, and it's all. All for the Queen, and that's all completely lost.
Yeah.
Now, apparently they communicate by hissing at each other like geese
and nodding their heads and making hand gestures.
You do it. Yes. Yeah. It was.
I have expected one to punch. If they had let's start. Do you know what it should have been? Let's start a prison fight.
Oh my!
And they start fighting each other, and Brad Dourif comes in to break them up.
I'm rushing it. Stop. Yeah.
The sad thing is, it wouldn't have made the film any worse if they had done.
Yeah. Along with the I'm sick routine. That kind of
one of them doubled over, and the rest were patting them.
One of the xenomorphs has got a cough. Quick, let's open the door.
But the fact that, as well, after that, we're bouncing. But this movie doesn't have a linear storyline anyway, so stuff it.
Yeah, we are jumping around a bit. Yeah.
Why would you run into that chamber after witnessing what happened without a weapon?
Yeah, surprise.
I would give you the answer to that.
The
But
alien
it's a
getting
trade
revenge by
secret.
hitting the button.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even after that, why would you go into that chamber afterwards, even with one gun, a pistol, I had, by yourself, after you've been told some guy got pulled through there? I mean,
Well, we've already worked out that these soldiers aren't necessarily the smartest ones.
they're not. They're not. But having an alien press the button was quite funny.
Yeah, I think it should have used his
especially
hand, though. I think if it
way
had
you
used his
pressed
hand and
it
looked
was-
in and did
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
The way you press that
If
button.
there had been a
was
scene where Brad
great.
Dourif was looking across and the xenomorph did that thing at the screen and then had its hand over the button and him going, no, that would have been much better.
My question is why? Why did it do that? Because obviously these things can kill people probably much quicker. And maybe it's just the video games, but don't they eat people as well? These things don't.
And also the capture people to make more. So
exactly.
don't always- No, but if you think of a tap on the screen, you know, Brad Dourif was looking around and a tap on the screen and the xenomorph was the other side, and then you would have had that whole payoff.
Yeah, exactly. So if it had been him, whoever it was that hit the button to kind of fire the freeze ray thing at the alien, if it was them that was getting their face frozen off or whatever, that would have made more sense. But this is just
and he turned around, he sees the xenomorph, you know, looking at the glass, and then its hand is above the button.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would make
sense.
This
movie, but it would have been a chuckle.
It would have been. But some random pleb that just wanders in there for some. Why did he even do that? Knowing that these things had escaped with just a handgun.
Without a doubt, the general told him.
Wasn't the general dead by that point? I can't recall. No, maybe not.
No,
that's all.
Yeah, it was all. It was all. Yeah, various different. Yes, of course it was. Yeah.
General's still the best death in the film, I reckon.
Oh, that was just.
I mean, just the best character in the film, surely.
He just reached behind his head, came back. Is that my brain? Went cross-eyed and fell over.
Did anybody else think it was a little bit weird that the way they were identifying people was by their breath? Did anybody else find that strange?
I just
also the fact that you can get artificial breath sprays that you can use to lockpick the breath lock. I mean, it's like we knew. Oh my God, General, quick! We need to get through this door. Oh shit! I've just eaten a mint.
Yeah, I need to smell like gold spot today. Yeah, what?
And plus, it was one of the. It was a glass thing. It wasn't even as if it was a event or anything, you know, to analyze it.
Right, there we go. Yeah.
I'm not supposed I should be laughing at boy.
Especially since it doesn't work very well, which was interesting. Yeah. I think we hit the nail on the head earlier on that this was just like some real low budget science project that somebody had thrown together. And just filled it with morons, disposable morons.
My son had to write a story for his English class, and I made a script from it. Cheers, Josh. Let's have a look. Oh my God, it's so good. So go and eat 11 million. Yeah, go on, man.
Yeah.
It was going to be a B movie. It was going to be an alien parody.
It was, yeah.
But the studios went, "Now we're out of ideas."
No, do you know what's big right now?
My God.
So yeah, weird, some very weird decisions on this film. But once again, I mean, I'm tempted to almost believe the intolerable human being that is Joss Whedon, that he might have actually written this to be a bit of a chuckle, and people just took it too seriously. Because all
he
the
has
signs are
brain.
there.
Like, look what he did to Justice League.
Do we have to?
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. No.
You know, when he has got form.
He has.
But this is him from start to finish. That's the thing. At least in Justice League, he had the excuse of he only
he had
came
to
in
take
halfway
over.
through.
Yeah.
But this is him. Yeah. Please go and retire, Josh. Don't make anything else.
I don't think
best
he's making anything else. I think his reputation might be tarnished. Not by this film either, which is
no. This should have been really the end of it. Let's be honest. This should have been it.
Yeah. So, but I the more we kind of talk about these kind of weird things that they threw into this film, just makes me think, this was meant to be a comedy. And just nobody told anybody that was making it that was the case.
Yeah, I got whatever the French word for comedy was.
The bad translation. That's what it was. Yeah. So Jeunet came along. Oh, does he want me to make a serious alien movie? And off he went.
Yep. Everyone jumped on board. And
maybe this was sophisticated French comedy. We just don't understand it.
I grew up watching Gerard Depardieu movies, so no, I know what French comedy's like. And some of them are still worth a hoot today.
Yes. So, okay. Well, that's kind of ruined that idea. But I still think that, this was definitely, there is maybe some truth to that story, that this was not meant to be an entirely serious film. And people just got carried away.
They wanted to make the in space movie. Like this is the alien in space movie, but nobody got the memo.
Yeah. We know it was crap, Ange. Yeah.
Maybe the director was just having a really bad time and wanted people to have one as well.
He's got form for that as well.
Does he?
Yeah. Oh, see all the bullying charges and stuff he's had, like come out of the woodwork over the years.
Oh, who's this? Joss Whedon or Jeunet?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, he's done some terrible. I didn't know if the director had got some.
And I don't know if I was the director.
Yeah.
I don't know if he probably stopped directing after this movie.
It's the same director. No, the next film he made after this was Amélie.
Holy shit! What?
Yep. After he finished Aliens Resurrection, the next film he made was Amélie. Which is
good save, Jeunet. Good save.
Which is a great film. He hasn't made that many films though. Also, I've been reading.
Well, would you not be traumatized after making this one, and you'd be scrutinizing every friggin' script you get?
Well, it's kind of like this explains why Amélie is such a good film. Because it was like, I can't make that shit again.
Was this his final Hollywood movie? First and last, maybe.
Oh God, I've got to Google him again now.
Yeah, Google him now. Google him immediately. We must know.
Sure, that happened to Peter Jackson.
What's that?
He just gave up in Hollywood after the Hobbit trilogy because he was just burnt out. Going, I mean,
that's understandable as well. I mean, that was.
I'm just gonna run my company, thank you, and I'm gonna promote other, up and comings.
Yeah,
and I produce now and again just for shits and giggles, but yeah.
Jesus.
Done.
What's he made since Alien Resurrection? Amélie, A Very Long Engagement, Micmacs, The Young and
they were all bores.
Prodigious.
At least we're here.
Bivet and Big Bug, whatever that is.
Big Bug. I mean, that could have been the subtitle for this movie as well, right?
But I've got to be honest. Looking at it, yep. Alien Resurrection is the last. Alien Resurrection is pretty much the only film he made in Hollywood.
I guarantee that this movie turned him off Hollywood.
Yeah, there's more to life outside Hollywood, and as a creative, a film director, you can be on the European, the Asian circuit, you name it, you can make movies. And every so often, I'm concerned about the director of Godzilla -1 because he's got the sparkly eyes, he wants to go Hollywood.
He wants to go to Hollywood.
Look what happened to Taika Waititi. Really quirky, out there director, went to Hollywood, got completely ruined. They all go through this.
One is such a good film.
But he wants to, he could get destroyed now because he saw the spangly lights of the
Yeah.
Hollywood script.
Sorry, mate, that's not how it works over here.
There is a lot more money to be made in the American film industry in Hollywood, though. That's the problem. They're all looking at the money.
I don't think it's
Andy just
necessarily
realised.
that.
Don't do it. Go back and make
Thanks, Andy.
Godzilla -2 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Everyone that was on his channel heard that we were talking about this movie, so they all jumped off. No, at the X. No.
It's Alien Resurrection. Yeah, I'm giving it the big thumbs up. Everyone should go and see it. Nobody knows where I live. I don't have to worry about hate mail.
yeah, okay. So, I mean, this is perhaps then the first of the bad Alien movies.
It should have been the last of the bad Alien movies.
Well, if you had a choice, then
actually, no, it is.
Colin, you have a choice of 3 between this one, Prometheus, or Covenant. And somebody put a gun to your head and said, "Colin, you must choose."
I would choose the trigger. He's just ended. Don't make me go over this.
That's a great answer.
Just put the trigger, make it. It's a toss-up at the moment between this and Covenant.
Covenant
is so stupid. That film is just.
Think Covenant is far worse than Resurrection.
Do you?
I
haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it or
you
not.
Got such a treat.
But I have seen Prometheus, and I thought
wait
that was.
till you hear what Angie says about Covenant. Yeah. Oh
my god, that's something else. We're going to have fun with that review.
Some of the special effects in Covenant. Some of the special effects in Covenant are absolutely brilliant.
I mean,
that's all I can say about it, really.
I could say that about Prometheus. Prometheus looks very nice. Yeah,
I enjoyed Prometheus, but it's kind of like it's a bit. I think Resurrection is a much better film if you go into it and don't expect to watch it as an Aliens movie.
Yeah.
But with Dead, that's the problem. It was sold as an
Aliens because it was sold as
Prometheus. This one. Yeah.
Prometheus is the same because it's like Prometheus is an Aliens movie. Everyone was disappointed, but it's like if you go and watch it as just kind of like a space movie,
it's still rubbish.
Right, hold that thought because that'll be our next.
I think you will be eating your words, my friend.
This will be a fun, and I'll be clipping this.
Yeah,
and playing it back to you during the next review.
No.
Carefully, do you remember you said this? Click.
Yeah. I stand by it. It's
for my part,
I've seen worse films than Prometheus.
I mean, I've seen worse films.
Resurrection for start, it's.
Well, this is the deal. This is the thing, and this is only because Chris has said that he refuses to leave until he hears something positive about this film. Now, this doesn't mean you can leave, Chris, but I actually think Resurrection is a better film than Prometheus. So there.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just think that Prometheus was just a bunch of pretentious claptrap. It was absolute rubbish.
Positive about Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, go on then. Let's see if we can do this, team.
We get to see Sigourney Weaver and Winona Ryder together. So
you get to see Sigourney Weaver
late 20s lad or whatever when this came out,
naked in a paper bag. Come on, it's got to be someone's king. There's all kinds of people out there.
And also, if you're into food stuff, doing food stuff happens strangely, you'll love this movie for that one scene, which makes no sense. The aliens look good. I'll give it that. The xenomorphs look good.
Oh,
apart, too bad. Yeah.
Apart from Baby looked awful.
Apart
from the Queen looked awful.
Yeah,
but the actual xenomorphs
and Covenant, when haven't the xenomorphs looked good?
Alien 3.
Like the xenomorph. Like, yeah, Dogburster. I've forgotten about that one.
Yeah, when they went for the CGI, didn't they?
Yeah, your classic Geiger xenomorph is a winner no matter where it is. Because it's just such a good-looking monster.
Unless it's in Alien 3, in which case it looks a bit like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Because 3D CG.
Yeah.
Well, they
See,
had
that
the
was
puppet and they did it upside down and they put it over the green screen.
yes, that's right. It's not CGI, is it either?
No, it was a puppet. They had the puppet operated by 4 people. Doing things upside down in a scene.
But I think didn't they actually composited it in though, didn't they? That was the thing. That's
and it
why
just
it looks
looked
so weird.
awful.
Yeah.
And the fisheye thing, whatever they were doing with that.
God, yeah.
At least they didn't do. Right, there you go. They didn't do the fisheye thing in this movie. There you go.
Yeah,
There's a
point
point.
of view.
Also, end credit is a banger.
Yeah. I mean, this film ends. There's a positive. Yeah. I'm trying. There must be something else now. Some of the effects for like the spaceships and that the hardware weren't bad. I thought they were certainly an improvement on some of the effects that we saw in Alien 3. I think obviously, but a bit of time had passed, I guess, so it would be. But they did use, rather than CGI, like a lot of people were experimenting with at that point, they did use actual physical models for the spaceships because they'd said, the director had said that it actually CGI doesn't generate the right kind of visual. You can't get the lighting and stuff on a CGI.
That's a big plus. Because it's like I've got to be honest. The best CGI I've ever seen in a film was without a doubt The Last Starfighter.
God, that's been ages.
I mean, there's probably been a few since then that probably have topped it.
There's been some great films. Where it's like Naboo starfighters are too shiny.
Yeah,
the prequels were too shiny. Let's be honest. Everything was just too shiny.
I mean, that's a whole other story. Do we really want to go down that rabbit hole?
Let's not.
No, because
just because this is a horror channel doesn't mean we have to terrify completely warp our brains.
Yeah. So I'm desperately trying to find
at least the Alien franchise has a chance to put itself back. That franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Dead as a doornail. So at least Alien has, despite all the travesties,
be careful, Andy might still be watching. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've got high hopes. I have high hopes for Romulus, to be honest. And I've got nothing to base this on except for the trailer and the fact that there seems to have been this little thing about treating older IPs with a little bit more respect. I'm talking about Blade Runner 2049 for this, where which was, I think, way better than we could have possibly hoped for.
That's because Ridley Scott was kicked off set.
Yes,
he was yapping and he got kicked off set, so had a chance.
Shame.
Alien Romulus, Ridley Scott was downgraded the producer credits.
So I mean, please let him be executive producer credits. So he didn't actually do anything.
He was going to be the director, but nah.
No, good.
That's why he released all those hit pieces.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he released all those hit pieces.
I thought he'd said, "Oh, it looks great. It looks like a proper Alien movie." Has he changed his opinion now?
No, he started putting out all the why people are slagging off his movies.
He's a
after
dick.
he got he's trying to bring.
Now this controversy, it kind of makes me want to go and see it even more.
No, I think the trailer actually gives. It looks pretty good.
The teaser trailer had me more hopeful than the extended trailer. When the extended trailer came out, I'm just thinking member berries, and I did a review on the channel, so you can check that out.
Yes, you did. But
I went scene by scene of member this.
It is kind. It does come across as like it's a return to basics.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that maybe they'll just be a bit more.
There is a slight hint of that. It's a return to basics, scene by scene, which worries me. It's like I want it to be returned to basics, but I still want something new,
a new story. Which They don't have to. This is where the other franchise made its that one I'll not name on this channel made its mistake. It focused around 5 planets and there was 10 characters and that was it. You've got an entire expansive universe that you can tell any sort of story in.
Yeah. Our problem is, of course, that it's an alien movie, and so people expect an alien.
Yeah, but if they don't try and tie it, you think about it, we've all this to play with.
Yeah.
All the potential stories to play with.
Well, and maybe the series is going to be doing a bit more with that. From what you've described about it, they're talking about the race to build synthetics or whatever. That could be an interesting story. It could be
if they do it right. But the problem always with a prequel is it has to get to an end point. And they've already told Noah Hawley they want multiple seasons.
Right.
So are they going to rip the bag out of it? If they had said we want a 3-season arc, I would be more involved. But they told them they want multiple seasons. They haven't specified, and he's sort of given them a general beginning and where it ends. But
how far are they going to stretch it out in the middle?
Is it going to become like every other prequel series of, for God's sake, just let's get to the space jockey ship already? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
it's going to lose. It's going to premiere. It's going to go for a couple of seasons. People are going to start complaining about it, and then it'll be all hate and toxicity.
Yeah, they'll all be all right. That's the phobes.
Which
Scott's already, that's just said all his pieces. That's everyone who hates Prometheus and Covenant are all alt-right phobes and toxic fans. And
he's strange. Strange what has happened. Yeah.
Oh, that old chestnut again. I haven't heard that 100 times.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go back to Blade Runner 2049 just because I think it's a great film, but the fact that he would have to find some criticism, of course. That
he was kicked off set, like physically removed from the set.
Yeah,
because he was being a dick.
Yeah,
and you can even forgive. Like, I hate Jared Leto. I just can't stand him.
He's a divisive character, isn't he?
Yeah, his best scene was in American Psycho, and that's because he gets his brains bashed in. You know what I mean?
Harsh but fair. Mm-hmm.
Well, Paris Hilton did that. She embraced the fact people hated her, so she went in the House of Wax remake.
Yes,
and everybody liked her again. Everyone got that catharsis. Do you know what I mean? Have a woman.
I'm just going to die on film, and people will love me.
Believe it or not, that's how the human psyche works. It's almost like she abased herself and apologized, and then everyone was okay with her after that. It's like you got that bit out of your head. I think we need Ridley Scott to act in a movie and just have the most horrific death scene ever, and then we might get over him.
But it won't change him. That's the problem.
No, it won't. But you sort of, and then he just retires after that.
Yeah.
But
promises not to make any more films.
Yeah, or speak, or give interviews.
Could be a lot worse. He could be running for president.
Do you know what? In America, or he's British anyway, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Is it? I'm like, is he?
I don't know. I mean, he's a British guy. He is, but maybe he's become an American.
No, but you can't run for the top one unless you've been born there.
Is that a fact?
Yeah. So you can get the governor, I think. That's where the Schwarzenegger.
No, yeah.
He wasn't born there.
Well.
Damn, my plans of world domination have been thwarted and I haven't even started yet.
Right.
Well, at least you ain't got to waste any more time on it.
Well, this is true.
Yeah, and why would you? That's why I don't understand the psychos that try to rule the world. Why am I going to worry my brain about somebody 2 streets down from me? I don't care. As long as they leave me alone, I leave them alone. I am not going to sit and go, I must control everything. I don't get that why you could care that much. Those things work. I'm a simple creature.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a leave me alone, I'll leave you alone sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, well, Chris would have voted for you. There you go.
Voted for Hammer.
God, vote Hammer or else.
But there you go. That That was fun. That was kind of cathartic. And it's nice to know everyone was as confused as me watching this.
Yeah. I'm kind of a bit torn with this one because I want to. I
want to believe.
I want to find something. I want to find something that redeems this movie.
We just
foot massaging.
Yeah. Maybe I just need Michael Wincott to tickle my feet a little bit or something. Maybe. I don't know.
Ooh.
Anyway. And that's what it was. Everyone was laying on benches. Michael Wincott was just walking up down the aisles.
That would have worked. Yeah, that would have
worked. Because instead of him, people, you know the paper mask you can get with somebody, they were wearing Michael Wincott faces.
Oh God!
You each had your own food tickler.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, he must have been. He was good at that, wasn't he? He was really good at that.
He'd obviously had practice, hadn't he? And it's like, I wonder how many takes that took.
I don't know, but he was clearly an expert at that. Yeah.
He could touch places people could only imagine.
Winona
Ryder's feet. Yeah.
It wasn't Winona Ryder. It was the other character.
It was the other. Yeah, the other girl. They had a thing. Yeah. He had a thing about seatbelts, didn't he? He says he likes to see her in a seatbelt in the chair.
Yeah, that was
well, at least she'd never have a traffic accident when she's riding with him. I mean,
no, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah,
it's very.
And on that note, I think that's what we could say with this movie. If you really liked it, to each their own. Good luck to you. I wish you every happiness in your life.
Watch it, you want to.
But if you're watching this after the effect and you can actually explain what this movie was about, please let us know, because we've just spent 2 hours trying to figure out we're no further on than when we started.
Yeah, it was a thing that happened.
That's us plus the live chat. We've all tried and we're all confused. But yeah, I think that'll be a good place to give our brains a rest, because we've got more pain to come.
Oh God!
Yeah, looking forward to it.
3 helpings.
Oh, can't wait for Prometheus.
1 times ahead. But Mark Flea, thanks very much for coming on. That's been an absolute blast.
Thanks for having us,
Colin.
Always a laugh. And of course, this Tuesday we're back on it again. We're in Fort Nebraska. We're getting closer to level 3. Maybe less distractions. We'll get there.
That's why I haven't bothered to change my icon. I'm nearly got on Tuesday.
Thanks everyone for joining the chat. It's always great to have interaction as well. You make us what it is. It's just a rough in movies, even terrible ones. But yes, we will of course be back. So until next time, keep updated with the channel, do the type of tricky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.